desperately trying to cover up. Ali won't extend himself while Lyles against the rope. But Ali spells twice.
Ready? Ready. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Against the Ropes. I am Gio Garcia. I am alongside Christian Mosqueda.
Yep.
We are back in the building. Another episode. How we doing today, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. We have a fighter here today, man.
Yeah,
it's gonna lift our spirits up, right?
Yeah, it's been tough these last few days. But yeah, we have two special guests in here, not just one, two special guests. We have a young gentleman who just started his career in professional boxing, 1-0, right? 1-0, undefeated. He's supposed to be on the card on Valentine's Day for All-Star Boxing, Quiet Cannon in Montebello. We have Mr. Eloy Secundino.
Yay!
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it. Nice.
Welcome, man. Welcome. Glad to have you here. All right, and we have his trainer here with us, Mr. George Flash Diaz.
Hey, the Flash.
Flash. That's my coach.
The Flash. So the Flash and the Punisher, no?
The Punisher.
Yeah.
The Punisher. I'll start. Where did that nickname come from?
You know what? I just feel like I well deserved it. You know, I
Used to get punished a lot or what when you were a kid?
Nah, you know what? I like doing the punishing in the ring, you know.
Hey, there you
like
go.
I
Right.
give the pressure, you know. I like drowning my opponents, you know, and it's just like sometimes you just catch them just like covering and not throwing back, you know. That's when you feel like, you know, they feel the punches, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He said drowning.
Drowning.
Damn.
Damn.
You know?
That's the new one.
Paint that picture.
I might take that one.
Damn,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
like
real
that.
punish right there.
Yeah, for
It's
real.
like after that, you know, you just hear them huff and puff, you know, and that's what I like, you know, and I'm just there smiling, you know, like,
So-
like here, come get some more, give me some more.
Like the saying goes, take him into deep waters.
Yeah,
man.
that.
Yeah, so we had the pleasure of calling, you know, your last fight.
Your first fight, actually.
First fight,
His
your
very
debut
first
fight.
Professional debut.
So I'm going to ask you.
What, Commerce?
Commerce Casino.
Yeah, October 12th, yeah.
Mhm.
I remember the day, man.
Yeah, so I'll ask this, man, like, what were your thoughts, like, as you were climbing up those steps? You know, you always get it. People always say they get excited,
Yeah.
you know, making their debut. But for you, how was it taking those steps? Were you nervous? Were you anxious, excited? Like, what was going on in your mind?
You know what? I just feel like it was just naturally, like, you know, meant to be that day. And, you know, it was just excitement for me, you know. I had been working for, like, a long time for that day, you know.
Mhm.
Like, and it's just, like, sometimes I even thought that it was never going to happen. And then next thing you know, bam, you know, October 12th, you know, thanks to my team, you know, George and my other two coaches, Dion and Juan, you know, they made it possible. And I was just also like happy. I was extremely happy, smiling, you know.
Yeah.
The one thing that I will never forget is when my coach George, he's like, wipe that smile off your face, you know, like this is serious time, you know.
Yeah.
It's like your pro debut.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, I was telling you to wipe that smile. I was nervous.
Yeah.
I was nervous. So.
I can tell it's like real emotion because when he's telling the stories,
Yeah.
you're just
You're
there,
reacting,
like,
yeah.
But the funny
Yeah.
thing is, when I used to fight, I used to do the same thing. I used to smile at my opponent. So it's a gesture of kind of like intimidating them or feeling like you're not threatened. I get it, but
That Brandon
at
Rios
that
smile,
moment
huh?
is, you know, you're trading, you know, you're like you're basically one of the fighters. He's one of the fighters that stayed the longest with me, and I turned him pro, so it was more of an emotional thing. I've had other guys that turned pro, so I think with Eloy was more of a nerve-wracking thing. Like, turning to this guy, he's been with me for, like, at the time, it's been, 5 years now?
Like 5 years,
Okay.
yeah.
So it was nerve-wracking. So he performed extremely well, you know, for his pro debut, you know, and I think he's going to get better after this fight.
Take me back to 5 years when you first walked into
that
your
connection. How did it happen?
gym. Yeah.
Ooh, man, that is crazy.
You probably do the honors.
You know what? I've been boxing for 8 years, right?
Okay.
So prior to that, I was, you know, boxing 3 years with another trainer.
Mhm.
And, you know what? He wasn't a bad trainer, but his style was more go forward type of style, you know, like fighting, brawling, you know, just fighting and, you know, just
Balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall.
Yeah.
throw out the kitchen sink though.
Yeah, you know, so that's the fighter I was when I came to George. And you know what? He would yell at me like, you know, like, come on, man, move your feet, move your head, you know, and it just wouldn't stick until like a couple years later, maybe, you know. It took me years to advance to where I'm at now, which I feel like I've improved a lot, you know. And you know, thankfully I feel we're gonna keep on growing as a team, you know. You know, right now, my other coach that wasn't able to come, Dion, he's been working a lot more with me. He's more of a slick fighter, you know, head movement, pivoting, this and that, and I'm learning a lot from him. I'm getting what you call it, ampollas under my feet, you know, like so it's crazy, you know. So I'm learning a lot. As I think I got you know, things down as far as head movement and all that, but I feel like I could learn a lot more, you know.
Okay, nice.
And with time, it'll happen.
So how have you seen his process since the first time he stepped in the gym?
He's always one thing about Eloy, of him, you know, he was always a coming forward, balls to the wall fighter. Like, sometimes I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It brings excitement. It brings the crowd. You know, of course, in the general public loves to see a war. They like to see a bloodbath. But as a trainer and a former fighter, you want your fighters to have a longevity in their career. So that's the main priority. Of course, he's never gonna be a slick fighter like I'm almost say like the biggest name in the game, like Floyd Mayweather. But you could add certain things that make his defense a little bit, improve his defense to a certain extent. Move his feet properly, like, you know, build a little more of a rhythm with his combination and his movements, head movements, and pivoting here and there. Like the saying that Eloy was saying, he's getting blisters in his feet, man. That should be the new saying now. Getting blisters in your feet, man.
This guy got some bars today, huh?
So, going to that, you know, I used to spar with him. So,
oh wow.
So prior to, you know, he was actually sparring another fighter of mine that was more of he wasn't really a slick and effective fighter, but he was a little slicker, a little bit more to what I like in fighters. And Eloy used to go to war with him, and then I think there was one time you guys got into it after the bell. I got in between them, so
Frank.
Yeah, with Frank. Yeah. So I basically had to split them up, and I said, if you don't, stop doing this, I'm gonna have to kick both of you out of the gym. I just don't care in that aspect. But Eloy continued sticking around. The other kid moved on. He turned pro somewhere else. Career didn't go as prosperous. My whole thing is about doing the things that people didn't do for me correctly. So, you know, it's easy to get fighters fights. I could have turned them pro years ago, but I always told them, let's wait at the right moment. Let's do the right thing. Let's get. My whole thing is about, if you're gonna be a professional, it's a lifestyle. Yeah, and that's what most people don't understand. Yeah, that this game is not just you get in shape and you fight. No, it's a learning process, and that's one thing that I always take accountable. Like, not to jump out of subject, like last year, there's a lot of trainers out there training people, and then that's where they had the tragedies we had last year. You know, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from the trainers that were working with the fighters that passed on, but you got to take it serious. So that's how I see it.
So before we get into that, because that's an interesting topic. Why boxing? How'd you begin to box?
You know what? As a child, my mom has always tried doing sports for me, like maybe soccer, basketball. You know, I tried like softball or baseball at school. I've tried flag football, and you know, I sucked at all of them, you know. And one time after graduating high school, I was just home, you know. I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't working, and I was just gaining weight, you know. You know, I was just home. So down the block, it was that gym where I started at, you know, and I was there for 3 years, and I decided to try it out, and I was good at it, you know. In high school, I was always getting into fights because, you know, you know how that lady just said I was short, you know. People thought, people
Wait,
thought,
what?
you know, maybe just because he's short, you know, like I'm gonna pick on him, you know. And a lot of people tried picking on me, and I was just that type to never let myself, you know.
Yeah.
And until today, you know, like I am more respectful, more aware of what I'm doing, but I will never, you know, let myself on anything, or I've always put up with like protect somebody, you know, that I love, that I care for, you know.
Okay, yeah.
So that's how I see it, and this is what got me into boxing. And I like the challenges that it comes with, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, I started from running like maybe half a mile since I first started to like being able to run like 10 miles, 9 miles, you know. So it's crazy what your body's able to do, you know.
Yeah.
And you just come to find out more.
Yeah. So one day, you just decided, you know, like get up and go to the gym.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm gaining weight. Let's go try this, you know. I was a fighter in high school. Might as well try to put that to good use.
Nice.
Yeah.
When did you realize you could be a boxer? You said you were a fighter. When was the moment in that gym or throughout your process that you're like, okay, I'm not just a fighter, I could be a boxer too?
You know, since the first day I started, like how it made me feel, you know, I like feeling like getting out of there and just feeling like good, like my body felt good, you know, just home, shower, and then I just felt relaxed, you know, and just go to sleep. And I like that it did that to me, you know. And little by little, I started changing my eating habits and everything, and then I started seeing my body changing. And then my body, you know, I like that, you know. Like, I mean, as a man, you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, oh,
okay.
Damn, yeah, you know, I look good.
Look
you
what
know?
I see.
Yeah.
Ahora sí.
So, I mean, that's how it is, you know.
Yeah, nice.
And yeah, I mean, I've been doing different things, you know, as far as like cutting out meat, going vegan, stuff like that, you know. Like right now, I went back to like maybe seafood and all that, you know, but I was vegan for like maybe 3 years, 3.5 or 4 maybe.
How does
like,
that feel?
No meat, no nothing. You just gotta find the replacements, you know. Like as far as protein, like peanut butter, that's what I would do. Nuts, I would do meal replacements, you know. I mean, I wasn't so hardcore, you know. I would still do like pancakes here and there, but as far as meat, like no meat, you know, whatsoever. No red meat, no chicken, no fish. But you know, now I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Where did you grow up? Like where were you born?
It's like half of my life I was in Hollywood, half of my life I was in the Valley.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hollywood.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty hood out there, huh? Like
it's
people,
all right. Yeah.
People
It's
hear Hollywood.
a lot
like,
of crazy
oh,
people.
Yeah.
He went from trying to be a movie star to a fighter.
Yeah, there you go.
What about you, George? Where were you born?
No, I'm from
Where
the
you raised?
valley. You know, I grew up. I was born East LA, but raised in the valley most of my life. So fighting was not really the scenery for me because I used to get picked on as a kid, so I was very quiet. I used to play piano. I think my dad wanted me to be a musician, and then I think it was a little. I'm gonna say I was not mature for music, or it wasn't really my thing at that time. I regret not sticking with it, but then he decided to have us box, not because I got picked on, just he thought it was another better way to make a living, hopefully to progress. So my dad, I had a very strict father, in a good way. You know, back then I could look at it was a bad thing, but going back to it, my dad was very, very strict for the right reasons. And boxing was, and the funny thing is, I was never the small sickling one. I used to get sick and then get gassed out very quick.
Wow.
So
That's like I'm running 10 miles now, huh?
hell yeah, you know, like I said, he puts in the work, you know. And for me, and my personal thing is, I got beat up a lot. Got beat up from 11 till I was like about 16. You know, I trained in at this gym called at the time we knew them as the Goosens. Now it's Tengoose with Joe Goosen. So I've known Joe as a kid. I became an assistant trainer under him for a few months until I kind of ventured out. But at the same time, you know, that was the Valley. You know, it was the way to go. You know, I was around a certain group of people, but didn't really stick around because I had a very strict father. So it was from going to school, training, and going back home. Yeah. So that was my life.
We see that pattern a lot in boxing, like the son-father relationship and the super strict father. Like, what are some things from that, from that relationship that you didn't like that you're learning from that and applying to like Eloy?
No, it's not about not liking what my father did. I think my father did enough what he knew, how he got brought up. So sometimes we as kids or young adults, we look at like our dad didn't teach us, but you got to look. I always look at it like this: you got to see how he got brought up.
Yeah.
And I feel like my father was, my grandfather was very, very strict. He wouldn't say nothing. He would just give my dad a little whooping for whatever reason. For whatever reason, my dad was more outgoing. Was a little bit more like. The difference between my father and my grandfather, my father couldn't have a girlfriend. My dad let me have a girlfriend. You know, if I did bad at school, my dad would have gave me the spanking. My dad did get the spanking. So that was the different things. So that's basically how my dad was, you know. But one thing about my father, he never, like, you know, like most boxer relationships, the fathers are they have a big impact in the fighters' careers. My father never did. He kind of like, if you guys want to do it, it's up to you. I'm not going to force it on you guys. And I turned professionally 6 months out of high school, no hesitation. And not a big amateur background. So because I was sparring top big at the time was the big. I think the names that I sparred as a kid was Gabriel Relas, Rafael Horelas, and Joel Casamayor.
Wow.
And I think Joel Casamayor, everybody's familiar with if you follow boxing. Gold medalist in the 92 in Barcelona. And he defected from Cuba, so he was supposed to represent Cuba in the Atlanta Games in 96, but he defected. But that was the guy who I sparred a lot as a kid, and I felt that I learned from. But, yeah.
Nice.
So what's your philosophy as a trainer? You know, like you said, you have some guys who just want to go all out. Some guys who want to box a little more. Some guys who want, you know, actually, like I see a lot of people that care about their boxer. They want them to be maybe a little more defensive, a little more passive.
Yeah. It's the philosophy is you got to learn, you got to know how to give and take. But at the same time, you got to also basically harness everything you work with. It's basically you got to sharpen your tools per se. You got to sharpen what your abilities, and then you create the identity as a fighter. Because the thing is, we start with the very basic things, and then from there on, you start teaching them. And then they start developing into a different identity. So, and that's because per se, I'm not even. Let's just say I'm gonna use Eloy as an example. I want Eloy to fight like one of my favorite fighters is James Toney. It's gonna be hard because not everybody's built. So it's like I use a lot of analogies. It's like all sports cars are made for speed. They're not all gonna perform the same. So that.
Nice.
So let me ask you, Eloy, like what did you learn in that first fight? You know, because we hear a lot of stories. A lot of people get really nervous. A lot of people are like, it was way different than what I expected. Like, how was your experience in that very, very first fight?
You know what? I feel what I've learned that, you know, I'm capable of moving my head and my waist, you know, because that's the trouble that George has always been having with me. Like I said, I came to him as a straightforward fighter, you know, so it's like it's hard. He says that it's hard to train somebody a different way that came already to you a certain way, you know. So it's like, for example, I came as a straightforward fighter, and George is trying to like work with that and trying to switch me into something else, you know, or try to just help me improve.
Add a new new or different skill.
It's not that it's difficult. It's just the personality he's developed. He's a I don't give a damn type of guy. So it's hard, you know. It's the personality that takes over. Is another analogy I could use is like you're used to driving certain cars, and then we all get Formula One cars. We're all going to perform the same. I mean, differently. So we're all going to perform differently under that car. Maybe one of you may not used to that power. Another person may like speed, but and then can't control the car, and then the other one is just out of the control. He don't give a damn about nothing, and the other one might be a little bit more cautious. So everybody's different personality-wise. So going with Eloy, his whole thing is about I'm gonna hit you with my hardest shot. Like I say, I used to spar with him as just to see where he was at, Now it's a different story. He's
Yeah.
actually dropped me with 2 body shots twice. So
Uh-oh.
you know,
Yeah. Is it on tape?
so he's you know, but like I said, I'm an old car. He's still a new car. So that's the thing. You gotta. Another thing is going back with that you say you can't learn. It's not that you can't learn. It's just you're already established as a 4x4 truck. So your way is certain things that you can improve on, but completely change you. That's not going to happen right away. It's going to take time into development. So it depends how the career goes as well.
Mhm.
But anybody can learn. As long as you're learning, anything's possible.
Did you feel any type of pressure on that first fight?
You know what? I did, but you know, like that I feel that's what the team is for. And you know what? One of my coaches, Dion, he reminded me as I came to the corner. He's like, breathe, you know, like make sure you breathe. And he kept reminding me every single round. And I believe that's one of the big points that, you know, helped me out going and keeping on punching, because I was looking back through my video and I was like, damn, man, like I threw a whole bunch of punches, you know, like, and
Surprisingly.
yeah. You know, and normally I like throwing like 3-4 big shots, you know, like big strong shots, you know. And but you know, one thing I noticed about the fight is that I kept moving and, you know, counter punching and after the fight I recorded myself, I recorded my face, and I was like, damn, look, I'm like, did I even fight? You know, I got nothing on my face.
You
know?
actually made the guy miss more than I thought, because most of the time Eloy can eat a punch. You hit him, he won't blink. That's the scary part. So, yeah.
And you know what's funny is, like, I feel like my head is like a rock or something, you know, because people hit me and then they start shaking their hand like, damn, you know, like, what the heck is his head made out of? Like today, like, we just got here from sparring, you know. We went to spar some guys at Outlaws Boxing over in the Valley, and he hit me in my head, and I felt the punch, but it didn't
He shook his hand. He shook his hand. I saw that.
He shook his hand. Yeah. He's like, damn, you know, like,
the Leo.
you know, what the heck happened, you know?
So you don't. It feels like you don't want him to be like a prisoner of that like
moment.
Okay, you have a chin, but that doesn't mean you can
There's
just
a
walk through
perfect
punches.
time and there's the right time and the right place when you have to go all out. You know, you can use Arturo Gatti, you know, constantly going to war. Arturo Gatti, when he trained with Buddy McGirth, you know, he started boxing, he started being a little bit more successful. Gotti early in his career was more of a boxer, then he became a brawler, but because he fed into the crowd, of course, and the crowd loves to see blood and guts.
Yeah.
But at the end of it all, you know, Gotti had a longer career. Not all fighters are fortunate like him. You know, besides the tragic deaths he had, but prior to that, you know, a lot of fighters don't have that lifespan in a career, especially if they're not being moved the right way. So that's always the biggest thing in boxing. Like, look at me. I wasn't no big time fighter, no great time champion or anything. But at least my head is still straight. I speak pretty decent, and then I got common sense, you know. So that's the whole thing. As long as the fighter can live after a career, that's what I believe at. That's what we're there for. Because at the end of it all, they got to provide for a family. If they have kids, wife, family, extended family, you know, they want to live healthy in the long run.
Yeah. And something that we're alluding to is family. And
Yes.
you told us before the show that you're a father. You want to tell us a little bit about how that plays into your boxing career, and tell us a little bit about your family.
Yeah, you know, I got 2 kids. You know, my oldest Angel, he's 11, and my youngest, he's 7. You know, it's a sacrifice. You know, like having to be in the gym and not with them. You know, doing like helping them with their homework or you know, like just picking them up, taking them, you know, to the park or so and so. You know, like often. You know, because I mean, I do still, you know, and it hurts, but at the long run, you know, you think about it, you're like, well, this is, you know, for the future. You know, this is all for them. You know, this is what won't like have them struggle later on, just like I struggled, you know, or like how I have struggled. Like, you know, I wasn't born here, you know, so it isn't easy for me to get a job anywhere or to work everywhere that, you know, pays really good, you know. So I have to start like where maybe you could say the lowest pay or semi low, you know, like people don't appreciate you because you know, you weren't born here, you know, so it's pretty hard, you know, but like I said, at the end of the day, is like it's all for them, and I feel it will pay off, you know, just like, you know, like I feel I have, you know, I don't quit, you know, like I don't have that mindset of quitting on something that I've invested already time to, you know, like money and a lot of stuff, and like sacrifice all of this, you know, so at the end of the day, I feel it's gonna pay off. So, you know, I just keep on believing in myself, and you know, having God by my side, and you know, my team, and I feel we'll go the correct way, just like he's saying, you know, is building me right, you know.
Yeah. After the fight, I don't think they were allowed to be in. I think they were too young to be at the fight. But did you tell them, how was it like when you told them that you won your first fight?
They're like whatever. You know? They're like, whatever. As kids, you know, they're like whatever. You know, they don't really notice a lot. You know,
Okay.
but it's like when the time comes where, oh, you know, Dad, I want this, I want that, or you know, like
Ahora sí, ¿verdad?
yeah, ahora sí. Yeah. But I mean, eventually, you know, it's like I never had a dad where I could be like, oh, you know, damn, you know, like, you know, that was my dad, you know?
Yeah.
Like, my dad walked out of my life, like, you know, who, like, I don't remember how old I was. I think I was like maybe 4, 3, you know? And like now I recently connected with him again, you know, just because, you know, like a godly thing is to forgive, you know, and I'm big on God, you know, like. So I've changed the way that I have been, you know, thanks to God, you know, and you know, I hit him up, you know, and I just felt like I'm just gonna forgive him in my heart, you know, like for just leaving me, you know. But as far as my kids, I'm never gonna abandon them, and you know, I want them to be proud to say, you know, like, you know, my dad was a professional boxer, you know, he did this, he did that, like, you know, stuff like that, you know, they could be proud of, you know, to talk about me, you know. Yeah. So, you know, that's, you know, in the long run. But right now they're like, whatever. You know, he fights, but okay, you know.
Yeah. I guess it's good. It's as time goes and they start seeing you fight more, they'll.
Yeah, my oldest is like, you know, asking more and more like about fighting, you know, like about boxing. So he's asking me more. But I don't want to like encourage him to do it if he doesn't want to do it, you know. If he wants, because he plays soccer right now. He plays soccer. So if that's what he wants to do, if he wants to play soccer, hey man, you know, like
support him.
Yeah, support him. Yeah.
Yeah, something that George was alluding to was talking about like how your father, it was a different era, different mindset, right? I talk a lot about this with my own parents, how I guess they grew up in a different era where they're just taught to just provide and provide food, un techo, and like that's pretty much just that's it.
It's a different generation now.
And I tell like my mom, like when I have my kids, I want to have a relationship with them. Like techo, food, education, that's a given. That's something I'm gonna provide. Yeah. But like as a new generation, I was like, I want to have a relationship with my kids, and that's something that some of the newer generations are learning. Yeah, that we want that for our future.
Yeah, you know? And I'm not trying to say I didn't have a relationship with my parents, you know, but they worked. They both worked.
They worked extremely hard.
So you know, and the mindset is that you go to school, you go to school, get a nice job, you know, and then find a wife and get married, and that's it. So it's basically it's a culture thing. It's a culture. It's cultural. So I get it. But today's generation, you know, back when I was growing up, you were a lot younger than I am, you know. So and when I was growing up, it was if I did bad at school, it was on me. Today's generation is you did bad at school. So what the teacher did they teach you?
For real.
So that's the thing.
Oh my God.
You as a kid, you acted up. Yeah. You're gonna get today. They act up. Give them the phone. Let them get entertained. Keep them quiet. I grew up in like part of the Valley, Van Nuys, North Hollywood, Panorama, North Hills. You always saw people when I was growing up. You saw kids because there was no social media, no internet, There was, but it wasn't as advanced.
You have to talk to people to actually talk to them.
Yeah, but today people don't talk.
Yeah.
That's the thing. People don't talk. You know, and I'm a millennial, so I'm part of that generation. So we get caught on with the.
Yeah.
I'll be out taking dinner. Eloy gets on my. Eloy has got on my kids a few times. Sometimes I'm on my phone looking at. But I'm always doing business. I'm always doing little businesses moves or posting because I own a gym. So I'm always trying
kind
to
of
post.
a must, really. Like
a must,
all that stuff.
Yeah, it is. But sometimes when you're doing things, when everything's on you, you got to take care of it. You got to be on top of it because I bet you guys constantly building up your podcast,
brand,
going through it. It's a build up. The entrepreneurship generation, and that's what our parents probably didn't know, and that's what I know I'm trying to do. So then that's one thing that I don't want. I don't want to say that I don't want Eloy to be world champion. I do. But I also want him to be invested in his future. That's the whole thing. I want to create better people. That's the whole mindset. Most people, they want to make champions. Like, I remember growing up, people say, "Oh, I just want to get him a couple fights, turn him pro, and that's it." I could have done that with Eloy easily, but I did it. I felt like I needed to do it right.
Do it right, yeah.
Anybody can make money. We can make money working. I could have got him fights easily with big promoters, and then he wouldn't have the upper hand. My whole thing was, the money will come. Let's do it right, and that's what I'm trying to. It's not about just training; it's about educating.
Yeah, because this sport is no joke. It's not a game.
It's just a lot of variables that people don't see.
Yeah,
people think it's like I hate it when the first thing I ask question like, who's your favorite fighter? They say Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya, Mayweather. Okay, done. But I go to somebody tell me a certain fighter, like I'm gonna say back when I was growing up, like in the '80s, was people don't know Mike McCallum, people don't know Donald Curry, and just a lot of more fighters in boxing that people don't know. And those are the people that say, "Oh, so you do your boxing." In today's social media platform, you guys can see whatever fight. So you talk about it. When I was growing up, you talk if they just say you guys talk about basketball, you talked about soccer, you talked about football. I'll be like, I'll be like, and then somebody came and talked about boxing. I'm like, oh wait, we talking about boxing? I want to talk to you. I want to know. Do you have tapes? Do you have VHS tapes recorded? You got fights recorded? So that's the thing. It's just a different generation. We were willing to learn. Well, today's kids, they have the access on their phone. They don't even look it up.
Yeah.
I remember that too, like when you're like, let's say 3rd, 4th grade, and then everyone's talking about these other sports, and you're like, wait, you watched that Oscar De La Hoya fight too? And then you're just like, oh shit. And then whole conversation, right?
Exactly.
Like I understand what you're saying. It's a lot different.
Nice. So one of the immediate things that you fight for is for your family, of course.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that drives you, that pushes you to fight?
Just like you say, like my entire family, like my will to leave something here, for my kids and just so when I'm gone, they're good, So, and like I said, I wasn't born here, so it's not so easy for me. So it's just like a thing of, getting out of poverty, stop struggling, like I said, I've been working, since I've been like, after I graduated high school, I've been working food, like, that whole restaurant stuff is like, it's hard, so it's like working to 8 to 14-hour shifts sometimes, and like sometimes like even the whole week with no days off, I've had to do all that stuff, and it's hard. One time I did that, that whole overtime stuff, no days off for like maybe 3 weeks. And my body was just so tired, and one time I went out with my friends, and maybe this was 2015, and I had one beer, I was still drinking then. I had one beer, and going back home, that beer put me to sleep because my body was just so tired from working and working, and I got into a car accident, and ever since 2015, like till now, I haven't like drank nothing, and I mean, I don't think it was more of the beer. It's just,
you were more sleepy, huh? More tired than anything.
Yeah, but, I just rather not deal with the whole beer stuff. I'm not trying to...
Life experience.
Life experience will teach you,
My brother, he went he went through a hard phase where he became alcoholic, you know. So it was hard for me to see that, and you know, that's another big part of why I choose not to mess with alcohol, you know. But yeah, I mean, you live and you learn, you know. So so that's probably another thing, just getting out of poverty, and you know, not having to deal with working double or triple, you know, of the normal. Yeah.
How many siblings do you have in your family?
I have 2 brothers, and I had one sister that passed away when she was a baby. She would have been like the oldest.
Oh, okay.
You know, but yeah, just them.
You're the middle child? Or?
I'm the baby.
The baby.
You know, I'm the baby.
Okay.
So, you know, yeah. So I'm trying to put in for my family, you know. And at first, they started to like, you know, be like, man, you know, like quit that whole boxing stuff, like get another job, you know, like get 2 jobs, because as a Mexican, you know, you're always having to work, you know. Yeah, and yeah, now that I'm here, it's like, you know, thankfully they're supportive. You know, they understand now, you know, everything that I've been through and all that, you know. And yeah, they're very supportive now.
Nice. Did your folks come down to the fight, or?
Yeah, the first fight, yeah, just that this time my mom's gonna be missing, but my 2 brothers will be there definitely.
Okay. What did they tell you after that first?
You know, they were proud of me, congratulations, you know, and I just saw like they recorded, you know, for themselves, and I saw it, and it's just, you could hear them like yelling and everything, like, come on, man, move your head, you know, like do this or that. Like, yeah, gancho al hígado, noquéalo, you know, like stuff like that. It's funny, you know. It was pretty heart touching, you know, like just to see your family there, and as I was walking out, it's like you just hear the whole crowd. Like, I was the first fight, you know. I don't know if you guys remember, but it's like for a first fight, you know, it's like normally those are boring ones, you know. I felt like my fight was kind of exciting, you know.
It was good.
You know, I felt like the crowd was like on their toes, you know, and like just like yelling, you know, supporting. It was good. I mean, some people came to me after the fight, you know, and I didn't even know who they was, you know, like they were just trying to take a picture, you know. So I mean, that kind of like, you know, boosted like, you know, my feeling about like this whole boxing stuff, you know, like, damn, you know, like this is how it feels, you know. Yeah, this is for real, you know, like.
we talked a little bit about like when the crowd gets into it, like I'm sure George has a game plan for you. He wants you to, you know, fight a certain way. Does the crowd get to you sometimes, and you're just like,
you know what? No, I feel like I just do me, you know, but sometimes George yells at me, you know, and like, you know, like move your feet, you know, like he reminds me, just like I said, like my other coach reminds me to breathe, you know, he reminds me to, you know, move my feet and like pivot, you know, do all that. Sometimes I even call him my mom, because he like yells at me like you know, like if I was his son, you know. I'm like, damn, but you know, I don't get upset at it, because I know he's doing it for good, you know, not just to, like, you could say be annoying or like a bad person, you know. But yeah, you know, I know why he yells at me, you know, and it has gotten to me like, okay, well, you know, then I'm doing something wrong, you know. He's yelling at me. Okay. But yeah, you know,
the biggest reason I yell is so you could hear me. That's the biggest reason why.
Well, yeah, at the fights, yeah, you know, that's how I took it. Like, you know, there was a lot of noise around, so yeah. But he would remind me, you know, like, move, you know, do this, do that. And like I said, you know, I felt I didn't really get touched a lot, you know. Like, I maybe had like one little red dot, and that's it, you know.
Yeah. It's like, coach, no tengo nada.
Yeah.
What was that initial feeling when the fight had stopped? Like, I'm gonna ask both of you guys.
I mean, I genuinely felt I won the fight, you know, as far as I felt he didn't touch me, you know, and as far as him being in the pocket with me, it was in my favor, you know, because as George and I say, like, I'm a fighter. I like to fight, you know. I'm a brawler, and that's what I like to do. But, you know, thanks to George and my team, like, I moved my head, I slipped a lot of punches, and you know, like, I felt like I didn't get touched. So
100% confident.
Yeah.
Get it.
So I felt, you know, I was really confident I won the fight, you know.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I know the fight is like on the 14th is still pending. Let's just say it gets approved. Have you guys looked at tape on your next opponent? Do you watch tape?
We seen two guys. We seen partially some tapes, but it's you know, when you're fighting, when you're looking for the like guys with less than 3-4 fights or maybe 5 fights, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
Especially when they're, these guys have not common names, so they're easier to find. But there's not a lot of video on them. Exactly. So but if we would have fought like an Hispanic guy or a common name, you'd be like, oh, how many Jose Gonzalez we're gonna be fighting? How many? Which one is this? So no, the guys like I said, I can't remember their names right now. I just know their records, but so there's not a lot of tapes on them. So so guessing what the little things that I've seen, I just have an idea what he should be doing, and then adding the other stuff that we need to improve on it with him. So far so good.
Nice.
What do you like to focus mainly like during a training camp? Does it differ?
See, now since I have 2 other trainers, myself and 2 other trainers, we gotta do a lot. So Dion has been taking a little bit more of the upper hand with Eloy because the scheduling, they all work. Juan comes in. Juan Quintero comes in later on, so he works. I own a gym, so basically the gym is
the
always
name of it?
Flash Boxing.
There you go, Flash Boxing.
Yeah, so I'm always. I also do some matchmaking in Tijuana, so I work with another promoter, GM3 Productions or GM Promotions, GM3 Promotions, with Rodney Hunt. So that's another venture that I'm trying to take prior to training fighters because, I'm trying to do more. I need to do this. As long as my career didn't prosper, like I want them to prosper, I want to be basically to have the advantages and connections that I could be able to take them in a further, longer career. Because like I said, it's a challenge. I have plenty of goals that I want to do with boxing. If I do something out of boxing, it's just to make income so I can invest in myself. And I say myself, I mean in the boxing circles that I want to be focused on. Because I got plenty of people to I want to work with and maybe do other things as well to basically manage, train and move fighters with quality and build amateurs as well. Nice. No matter what we accomplish is boxing.
Yeah, nice. What's the timetable for Eloy? How many times do you want to see him fight this year?
If we're up to Eloy, he'll fight every week. Eloy don't care. I had a nickname for him. What was it, Eloy?
It was Crash Dummy.
Because he wanted to spar every day. But like I've always said, you got to work on your tools, work on the bag. Like there's certain things he doesn't like doing, but I got to make him do it. Because like I said, fighters could be kids. Like he is like a kid anyways. So certain things I feel like they need to improve them in training. Of course, the sparring is always fun. He's one of them that he doesn't care. He'll spar the biggest guy in the gym. Doesn't care. But at the same time, we got to be smart. Yeah. He could be a rabid dog trying to bark at everybody. I'm like, nah, man, you gotta relax. That's visitors, man. Don't bite them. But but yeah. But we have fun. I'm a clown when it comes to the gym. I like to create an atmosphere that is genuine and welcoming. But at the same time, I like to see some blood in the canvas once in a while. So it's good.
Every once in a while, right?
Hey, once in a while.
Just art, right?
Keep it interesting.
Especially especially if it's outsiders. Yeah. I love it even more.
It's like I want to see the outsiders see the blood in the gym.
Not to sound vicious or violent.
Yeah, some people come in, like asking George, for sparring, and and they think, it's just gonna be easy,
Yeah. And plus because I look young. I'm short. I'm young. I look young, and they don't think I know what I'm talking about until they find out.
So Eloy gets in the ring.
Until we get in the ring, and then you don't see him come back again. You know.
Who's the biggest guy you sparred?
Biggest weight as far as weight?
Yeah.
Maybe like
175, 180.
Yeah, around there. Yeah. And I'll probably be walking around 145 or so. Yeah.
Dang, how was that?
Like, I mean, I in general, as part of me, I'm very confident of myself, you know. So I'd be like, well, bring it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, come on, you know, let's
I feel
do
like
it.
I'd be moving using my legs, man, with big guys.
You get
I
tired.
mean-
Let him go start going to the body. You'll see what will
But
happen.
like I said, you know, I like drowning my opponents, you know.
There you go.
And it's like touch them soft on top, and then bam, you
And
know,
we don't
you
go one or
break
two-
out in the bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't go 1 or 2 rounds. We like to go rounds. Like how
Yeah,
much we
you
did
know.
today? We did 8
Like
rounds today.
we did 8, you know.
It was
like,
good sparring.
Yeah.
You know?
Normally it would have been 6 with that guy, but I was telling my coaches, I'm like, hey, you know, can we bump it up? You know, maybe do 8 this
Yeah.
time. I just, like I said, I like the challenge. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I like feeling tired to
Yeah.
where I have to go the extra mile. You know,
Yeah.
and that's just me. You know, that's my mindset.
Yeah, we think of 4 rounders. A lot of people might think it's not, but it's
Yeah.
you get tired in there.
It's an adrenaline rush.
So yeah. How do you feel doing those 4 rounders right now?
I don't like them.
You don't
I
like
don't
it?
like
Too
'em,
short?
no. Yeah,
Or-
too short.
Yeah. Okay.
More because I feel I'm a slow starter.
Okay.
You know, I feel like I'm a slow starter, and I get better as the round goes. You know,
Mhm.
so
Takes him into deep water.
yeah. So as like
Nice.
as far as starting, it's like it I don't feel 100% there on on the
Yeah.
first round. You know,
Yeah.
but as the round goes on, you know, I get better. You know.
You
Yes.
want to drown them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 rounds is like still the kiddie level, huh? 4 feet.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to 6, you know, starting my
round,
6
okay.
rounders, and man, I feel like maybe the 3rd round and up is gonna be
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you're gonna see how I drown them. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. To the deep
Yeah.
end.
We call, hey, watch out! Don't be calling yourself the shark. They're gonna,
Hey,
there's a
for
couple
real.
fighters with that name.
The shark,
Yeah.
tiburon, huh?
The tiburon,
Tiburon.
okay.
Tiburon.
There you go.
Yeah, hopefully you could get on that card, man. Hopefully nothing happens.
Yeah,
Valentine's Day, February 14th at the Quiet Cannon. I mean, I wish, you really fight, because it's going to be exciting just to call that fight. We're going to be at the ringside doing the commentary. So
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you guys.
Are you
Yeah.
inviting a date to your fight?
You know what? No.
No.
As far as girlfriends and like all
Okay.
that, I'm already done with like the whole drama. Like,
Hmm.
my baby mama, you know, she had like, you know, I'm gonna say, you know, she broke my heart, you know, and as far as trying to fix it, it never worked out.
You have a heart?
he used
You
to.
know?
He used to.
You know, so I mentally set myself to like, you know,
To stay focused.
yeah, stay focused in
Okay.
boxing and all that. And then I tried being with somebody, but it's just, you know, I have to invest my time with this. So boxing is my girlfriend right now, and
Hey, there you go.
and you know, like this is what I'm doing. And as like, yeah, you know, people be like, hey man, look at that girl, like, yeah, she's cute.
Yeah, she's
That's
cool, yeah.
it. That's it, you know. But
Yeah.
other
She ain't
people,
boxing, though.
Yeah, you know, other
Don't-
people try and go and chase them.
Don't
and
date a
all
boxer.
that.
She'll probably try to beat you up.
Try to drown you.
You know, my baby mama has like tried laying hands on me, you know.
Oh.
And sometimes I would miss and I would dodge, you know. But then there
Now
comes
you're
to
using
the
your
point
feet.
where she starts using objects, you
Oh.
know. And I
Oh,
was
okay.
like, damn, okay, you know, relax.
The
You're really
bucket
dodging
is
those,
not
huh?
allowed.
La cubeta.
No, that's good. I'll tell you a story about Virgil. Virgil teasing his dad. So he's not allowed to date at all, and he's okay with it.
Uh-huh.
He's okay with it. We were talking about that. I was like, you're young. You're one of the hottest prospects, you know, in the world right now. I was like, how do you deal with dating? I like to ask these questions to like the young boxers, because you know, sometimes you get, you know,
Yeah.
the bigger you get, the more people come,
Yeah.
and yeah. So his dad was like, oh, he's not allowed to date. He's like straight up, was like he's not allowed to have a girlfriend.
That's a little hard. That's
Yeah.
a little hard. You gotta leave them. You gotta let them their freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So yeah, because if you start really doing that, then they start really rebelling, and then
Yeah.
they start losing control, and then they will not know how to control themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's what I thought with him. I was like, don't you think he needs a little? And he's like, no. Like, I talked to Virgil. He's like, no, I'm good. Like, my focus, like, kind of like what you said, like, my focus is boxing.
father,
The
trainer.
right person will come when it's time. Right now, my
Yeah.
time is boxing. And I like how he respects his dad so much, because I think his mom and dad split when he was a little bit younger, and so he has a lot of respect for his dad. 'Cause his dad stuck with him, you know, like he lives with them, like, and so I know his mom is in the picture now, but he has a lot of respect for his dad. He's okay with it. He's all like, I don't long for that right now. Like when it happens, it'll happen. But he's like, right now, like my focus is his focus is ultra focus, like his boxing.
Yeah, and that's understandable, but it's a little hard.
Like, let him go out to the movies.
you gotta live a little.
Mm-hmm.
Like my philosophy is no drinking, no smoking, no bad habits. Like, you know, you can stay up late here and there, but you know, if a fight's coming up, you gotta stay disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I get on Eloy's case. Like he goes visit his son, and I get it. I know his son lives in Fresno, the youngest one.
Mm-hmm.
So, but those times when the fights were getting closer, he'll go visit them, and I'm like, dude, I need you in the gym. Sometimes he would train 4 times a week, maybe 3 times a week. And I'm like, dude, those were the other reasons why I didn't turn him pro very quickly, because those were certain things that you have to be in the gym. Like me, I train when I was if I was on summer break, I went to the gym twice a day. So that was, you know, if I went in the morning and I went at night, and in holidays, et cetera, et cetera. So the gym was basically, you had to stay in the gym, just the mental state. But, you know, and I get it, you know, he works, and that's another thing I do understand, that he works for a living. You know, boxing is another avenue that we're trying to basically break through for him to make a success out of it. And then, you know, he has family, so it's understandable to a certain extent. But when I get in this case, not because I want to, is because sometimes we got to stay very focused when the fight's getting close. I've sacrificed my whole life, basically, for this sport. How many hours of work a week? You tell him.
Yeah, I mean, he works from like 9 in the morning to like 10 at night, you know?
I should be working right now.
Yeah.
Shit, sorry.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, it's just the relationship with the people is fun.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a good thing.
Nice.
But I get it. It's you just gotta be understandable at the end of it all. So, and Eloy, you know, he's gonna do well.
Yeah, finding that balance, huh, Eloy? Right.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I go in there and I work, you know, that's it. I don't chat it up with anybody or nothing like that, you know. So right after work,
he's hard.
right after work, I go straight to the gym and you know, maybe get out of there like maybe 4:35, then go for like a 4 or 5 mile run.
Yeah.
And then go home, shower, and go to sleep, and wake up the next day at 3:30 in the morning, you know, and go to work.
Yeah, damn.
You know, I've been working food all my life, but recently I just had like a blessing, I would say, you know, because I've always prayed about more time with my son, more like less hard work, you know, because that whole food restaurant stuff was taking a toll in my body, you know. And then like on top of the training and like working 6 days a week, and some lady went in there one time, and she works at a law firm.
Okay.
And she saw how she often comes. She was a regular, and I think till today she still goes, you know. And she saw me and she offered me a job. You know, she would tell me, you know, like, hey man, like you're here every day. Like you seem like you're very responsible and you work hard. You know, like, she's like, why don't you come and work for me? And I felt very unappreciated at the restaurant because of everything that I used to do. You know, I was working like 120 hours a week. You know? I mean, every 2 weeks, you know. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go for it, you know. And I put in my 2 weeks, and I started working with her, and I'm there now, you know. Nice. And little by little, I'm moving up in the law firm, you know.
Nice. So what do you do there?
I started first just doing like some paperwork stuff, you know, which is probably like the lowest level of what the law firm job offered. And now I'm calling other attorneys, you know, and getting what you could say extensions to certain paperwork that our attorneys have to, you know, file. And so now I'm doing that. So I'm talking to other attorneys, you know, and little by little I'm probably gonna move up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good job.
Yeah.
I like it. You
Yeah.
could grow in it.
Yeah.
And it's not like where somebody's behind you, like like hurry
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
like do this. You could take your time, but you also gotta be aware
Mm-hmm.
of what you're doing.
Yeah. No, that's good.
But yeah, I like it. It's
Yeah.
good.
I always say like 20s is where you kind of find, you experiment,
Yeah.
you try these different things and you see what you like. And we always talk about like plan after boxing, like what plans do you have, or, so that's good. You're learning, it looks like you're finding something that you
Yeah.
like. And I was going to ask you, like, after, like, other than boxing, what else are you into? And this, it seems like this is one of those things right now.
You know what? I haven't really seen myself like that, like out
Uh-huh.
of boxing, because I went pro, but I don't feel like I reached my goal yet.
Mhm.
Like
Because you're just starting. Mhm.
yeah, because I'm
Mhm.
just starting.
Mhm.
I like I say, I want to become world champion. So
Mhm.
hopefully I get the privilege and the honor to, and after that maybe we'll see. But right now, as far as that, I haven't really thought about it.
Okay.
But maybe just hopefully getting out of poverty and buying a house and invest.
Mhm.
One of my coaches, Dion, he was just talking to me about investing.
Mhm.
And it got me thinking, and it's like, damn, like I really need to start thinking like that.
Yeah.
Like way ahead.
Mhm.
Like whatever I'm gonna do with this whole stuff, I gotta keep money coming my way no matter what.
Yeah.
Mayweather, he's retired, but he got money coming like
Yeah.
different ways. Like he opened up his gym, he franchised it, and he's doing other stuff, I'm pretty sure,
Mhm.
behind closed doors. And so I gotta start thinking like that.
Yeah. Having other
Yeah.
like avenues of income. Yeah.
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 So I mean, I got my job. I got this whole boxing thing. I do like another, like you could say, like a little entrepreneur company.
Mhm.
I don't know if you heard of it, Amway.
Mm.
So I got that little thing, and yeah, I mean, hopefully, I get out of this situation where I'm at now, and I'm able to invest in something bigger.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Nah, man, I'm impressed. Honestly, you're well spoken. Obviously, have a good team next to you.
Yeah, definitely.
It seems like you're moving in the right direction. So I'm actually pretty impressed right now.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, we hope to see you guys February 14th.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. We're looking forward to it.
What can we expect?
I would say, like, I mean, I'll have my times. I know I'm gonna wanna just brawl it out,
Yeah.
like make it a war, just for excitement. But I will have to listen to my corner, and I know what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
Move around, be smart. Don't get caught. Don't get caught in the moment. Don't admire yourself.
Mhm.
Because he always tells me that he catches me just admiring my work, and,
That's a good one.
and he said it today, I think, and he told me, like, don't admire yourself, and because I was getting caught a little bit.
Yeah.
I was getting caught with some hooks because I had my hands down, I was just like moving,
Mhm.
with my hands down, and so he's like, don't admire your work, like be smart, keep your hands up, and I'm okay, so I gotta
Mhm.
listen,
Yeah.
so it's whatever my corner tells me I'm gonna do.
Yeah. There you go.
But definitely brawling for like a couple seconds is my thing,
Yeah.
Going to
get
the
crowd.
body,
Yeah.
that's probably my favorite thing to do, the
Yeah.
body shots.
Nice. Yeah, something I kind of want to see from the boxing shows, like after the fight, I'm gonna talk to Jim and see if you guys can get the mic, so you guys can say a few words,
Yeah,
or
definitely.
take the mic and be like, just thank the
Yeah,
people, so
just-
people could get to know your personality.
Yeah.
More like kind of like the podcast, more than just the fighter, like So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what
definitely.
Because people see you for 12 minutes if you fight a 4-rounder, and they don't see you again for another 2
months.
Yeah.
2 months, So
Mhm.
yeah, that would be pretty dope.
Yeah, just grab the mic, bro. Just grab the mic.
I want to yank it out.
But
So that could be that could be something to look into. But
Yeah.
it's just certain things. Sometimes you gotta do. You gotta hold back out of respect. So
Yeah.
maybe yes, I think you're right about
Mm.
people to get to know, especially the local fighters, because,
Yeah.
to build a following. And I think
Mhm.
this is
Definitely.
what you guys are doing is a great platform to do so,
Mhm.
because that's what basically gives them the platform basically to be heard.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it was like for me, it was an honor to be here with him. Okay, he told me, and I said I gotta find out about coming in. Let's see if I can. But
Yeah.
I haven't made it for the Eloy. I had to make it. I had to
Nice.
get it.
Nice.
Now we're thankful you guys came because I know you guys got to make the drive too. You guys got stuff going on. You got a fight coming up. I know you're staying busy training all that stuff. So I want to thank you guys for coming down here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys
Thank
for
you for
having
having
us.
us.
Really.
Yeah, awesome. The same. Wish you guys the best of luck. I want that fight. I want to be there calling your guys' fight. So hopefully everything goes through smoothly, and we get to see another bout.
Yeah, we'll see you there. I mean, let's see what it feels like this time coming out. You
Right.
know, like the first time was all smiles, but let's see how it feels this time.
Nice.
I want to see, you know. I mean, I feel I'm ready for like all this, you know.
Yeah.
Like to be there, like be up there in front of the crowd and all that, you know.
Mhm.
And I was just like maybe like plotting how I'm gonna, you know, go
Yeah.
about, you know, and like what I'm gonna do and all that. But I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see. It's
Yeah.
just last minute stuff, you know.
Yeah. I can already hear his commentary. He's like, "Oh, he's drowning him right now."
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
nice.
admiring
Taking 'em
himself right
into
now.
deep
You see what he's doing there? He was admiring himself.
Yeah.
You see Coach over there? He's not happy.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Nah, but like I said, I'm impressed. You're well-spoken. Looks like you're moving in the right direction. And hopefully, man, we see a lot from you. It'll be great to have you guys back because I know,
For sure, anytime.
man,
Yeah.
it always feels short, right? Every
It
time
always
we have a
feels short.
guest, it always feels short.
Yeah.
I know you guys have a lot more to say. But, yeah, once again, thank you guys. And where can we find you guys?
Where can they follow you on Instagram, social media?
Yeah, on Instagram is ELOY Secundino. You just put Eloy, ELOY SECUNDINO. It's a long last name, huh?
And for me, is Jorge Kid Flash at Twitter, Instagram, and then on my other Instagram is Flash Boxing _gym. That's the other the gym basically where you can find me. And yeah,
Nice.
Any last messages?
I just
Let's just keep working.
let's keep working and thank you very much for having us and keep
definitely.
keep going
Thank you.
forward with what you guys are doing because I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this day.
Appreciate it.
You know
man.
what?
Appreciate
Quick
it.
question
Yeah.
before
What's
we
up?
finish. How did you guys start this? What was your idea?
Now
on
we're
this
gonna
whole-
interview you guys.
I know.
I think he's like the
podcast
second
stuff.
person to ask. This, right? Well, we were actually doing the ringside commentary. We just kind of stumbled upon it. One time they needed some emergency commentators, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Some people that Chris knew. And then he landed that. And then he just kind of invited us over. And I think we've been talking about it for a while, right?
Yeah.
We would always watch fights at his house. We would have some beers, kick it. And we would just talk boxing forever, right? So I think we just had that idea, but they didn't come to fruition until later on. We started doing the ringside commentary, and we're just like, let's just do it.
Let's
Like
do a podcast.
he was like, you know, I can get the studio at Dominguez Sales. Let's see what's up. And I didn't believe him because he always lagged, but he came through, and it was like, oh shit, for real.
Yeah.
And our very first podcast was Triple G against Canelo, the second fight.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just kind of like natural. It was easy to
Yeah.
do. But I think that's for the most part, right?
Yeah, that's
Anything
pretty
you
much
want to add?
it. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. It's something we've always done Saturday nights, watch like fights together, and then we stay up like 2-3 hours after just talking about
Yeah.
the fight, dissecting the fight, talking about like, oh, what can happen next, or like what he did wrong, what he did right, like what we liked. So we always just did that. That was like our
It's
Saturday
fun.
nights.
It's fun.
And so I was
We're
like,
like, why not do it in
why
front
not
of
do it?
cameras and mics?
Mhm.
And then eventually we started getting guests, and we're like, oh shit, people are actually coming to the podcast.
Yeah,
See, but you guys are,
Nice.
those are you are the type of guys that I'll be hanging out with, to talk about fights because
Yeah.
Yeah.
most people that watch the big fight, they only want to watch the fight and get out.
Bounce.
that's it. Yeah.
And we,
Yeah.
that's
Hit the
good
club
thing.
after.
You know, exactly.
We're the types to get to the fights like at 3 p.m. Huh?
Yeah, we're
We
out
watched
there
that
all day.
all
man.
day.
Sneak
Yeah.
some snacks in there.
No,
'cause
I,
we get hungry.
We can edit that
I
out.
kind of used to be like that, but at the same time, you know, I'm doing that all day. Sometimes
Yeah,
like,
there you go.
they tell me who's gonna win. This guy's gonna win. I already saw. I already know. I already know.
saw
I don't
this
need to
fight.
see it. I already know who's gonna
Yeah,
win.
they call George the boxing expert, man.
Hey.
Knows
We're
a
gonna-
lot, but definitely like congratulate you guys, you know, for
Thank
all of this and everything that you guys are doing. You know, like may God bless you guys more with a lot more, and you know your desires and all that, and you know just go from there.
Yeah, we said this week was tough. Like it's a tough week, but like boxing always brings us like that smile or that happiness,
Yeah.
that like that therapeutic, thing that you need sometimes when
Yeah.
you find that passion. So no, thank you for coming.
I
bro.
got
Like,
goosebumps when he said that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
oh, yeah, so thank you for coming on because like we weren't sure like what was gonna
I would have
happen.
canceled this week.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. But no, thank you for coming. We learned more about you, more about George, and we're looking forward to your fights for sure.
Yeah, after our win, we'll
some
come
beers.
back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, y'all gotta
We'll
come back.
We'll kick
Yeah.
it. We'll hang
Yeah.
out. We'll do something.
There you go.
Dope, man. Dope.
We'll go ignore girls.
Definitely.
Once again, thank you guys, man. Make sure to follow us at againstdaropes, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Make sure to subscribe to Against the Ropes podcast. Thank you guys. You guys were wonderful. Have you back soon, man. Good luck.
Thank you,
Eloy,
guys.
Good luck, George. Hope you guys fight and get that W. Bring some excitement to that crowd and the Quiet Cannon. Montebello.
We will.
Looking forward to it.
That's
Hey.
what's up,
I'm gonna
man.
drown him.
All right, thank you very much. We'll be back. Peace.
That was cool.
Michael, you already know I'm a fun guy.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco Gallo Estrada. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Huge shout out to Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.